Okay, everybody, we are back with Mayor Ed Bolt for the city of Shawnee. Thank you so much, Ed, for taking your time.
Absolutely.
I have just enjoyed this experience with you so much, and I have learned so much, and I know we as the community have learned so much from you, Ed, so thank you. And while I have you here, and we talked a little bit about the city manager, of course,
Right.
Andrea, and Andrea has been with us for about 3 years.
Yeah, 3 years now.
You've been mayor for 4 years. And so can you kind of explain to us the importance of, creating a capital improvement plan with the mayor and the city manager, and what that relationship and conversation looks like as something like this comes to fruition?
Yeah, and and it really goes beyond like the capital improvement plan, although that's really important.
Right.
I mean, it really goes, to everything. I mean, the city commission needs to be able to work together. That doesn't mean we're all going to vote the same way, all the time, or we agree with every word that comes out of everybody else's mouth. That's not it. But I mean, you've got to be able to work together. So the city manager, it's kind of a different relationship. The city manager works for the mayor and the commissioners. Okay, so he or she works at our pleasure. We hired her. We evaluate her every year. We extend her contract if we're happy with her. And I think we're very fortunate. We have a very, very good city manager here in Shawnee. That's not just from my evaluation. When I go to statewide events with other mayors and other city managers, I hear the same thing, is that you guys have a real dandy there in Shawnee. So I think Andrea does a very, very good job. So I think there's some things about the commission and city manager relationship that a lot of people don't understand. So you hire a city manager to run your day-to-day operations of the city. So most
Here, let's look.
go. We've got an org chart in there.
Also, capital improvement
It's in the capital improvement plan.
It's like here it is.
There you go.
It's
One
your
more
first
page right up front.
Okay,
so here it is.
Here
We can hold that up.
Yeah, I'll be your Vanna White.
There you go. Thank you, Vanna. So the city commission and the mayor is up here, and then the city manager is here. So the report down, and most of city government, all the folks working in city government will report up to the city manager, which is one of the reasons that, let's say you have a street issue and you get a hold of me and you say, hey Ed, I got a pothole, or there's a problem with the street, or whatever. It doesn't matter what it is. I legally can't, I cannot, and I will not just pick up the phone and call the guy over at the street department and say, hey, there's a problem over there that Fhionna has, and by golly, I need that thing fixed by 3 o'clock. You go up there and get on it.
You can't do that for me, Ed?
No, I can't. And here's why. I would be breaking the law if I did that. I would absolutely be breaking the law. I don't know they would come put me in handcuffs day one, but if I kept doing that, there could be ramifications, okay? So that's not the way the system works. So if there's something like that I need to contact somebody at City Hall, I do everything through the city manager.
Right.
Everything, okay? So
that's a lot of communicating with the city manager.
It is, yeah, probably more than she wants. So, no, and she's great. She is willing to talk to me at any time. We have had conversations at midnight. If that, we try to not have that. But here's the thing. The city manager, we hire them, we fire them. We have a really good one right now. I'm very, very glad to have her. But the other thing is that you hire them to be your expert.
Right.
I mean, that's the expectation, is they are the expert. So yeah, they work for us. We can direct them that we're going to do this, do that. But I mean, and we have to do that jointly. I can't just go in and go, Andrea, I need, by golly, we got to do this, If we don't have the votes to do that, then that doesn't work that way. But we count on her to have all kinds of information and recommendations for us. So she will, bring stuff to us and, based on this, and this, and basically we hear all the research and all the stuff that goes into it. And then, they pose that question to us to whether we're going to approve it or not. So it's a very interesting relationship. I mean, she does work for us, but at the same time, she is our expert. And if you hire somebody and you pay them good money to be your expert, and then you don't listen to your expert, there's a problem.
Right.
Now, if we thought, we're not getting a lot of good advice, it's not based on good stuff, if you had a bad situation, you may change the city manager, but that's not the situation we have here in Shawnee. I can tell you,
What I kind of think of it as is it's laid out city government is kind of laid out like a nonprofit. If you're familiar with nonprofits, nonprofits have their board of directors that hire the executive director.
Right.
And so it's and that executive director then turns and runs a staff.
Right.
So it's very much set up
parallel.
Very
it really is
similar. And so that's how, for me in my brain, that's how I kind of can piece those puzzle pieces together. So if you're just now learning about the city government and knowing how all of that translates, that's a good little example.
Because the mayor and city commissioners would be like the board of directors.
Yes.
And then the city manager would be like your executive director that they hire. So that relationship is very, very similar. So, but we work very, very closely with the city manager. We have one that works very hard. Truthfully, she probably works a lot more hours than I wish she did, but she's just that kind of person. She's just very, very dedicated. And then everything you get from her and everything she expects from you, you have to have all your T's crossed, all the I's dotted. I mean, that's the way it all works. And I really appreciate that in Andrea, because she looks at every possibility and researches everything. And I mean, that's very much appreciated. So I think we're very fortunate to have her here in Shawnee. I know there's lots of things probably people wish would just happen faster.
Right.
And that we had unlimited amount of money.
By this
there you go. Yeah. So, you've got, everything has to be looked at, get all the information. You need to see what kind of money you have available. You can't spend money that you don't have.
Right.
So, I mean, she has a very, very hard job. So,
she does. And I will say, just based off of how I've worked, the capacity I've worked with Mayor Ed Bolt and Andrea, and like Ed said, Andrea is very detail oriented. Yeah. She researches things from start to finish, front and back. And so I have witnessed Ed and Andrea work very well together through Ed trusting Andrea in the research she is doing, but also Andrea trusting and respecting the cultural expectation of Shawnee, if you will. So Ed is very active in the community as well as the other commissioners. And so it's good to have the people active in the community being the eyes and ears, which are the commissioners and our mayor, and then to trust that city manager. And so having that trust go back and forth with the city manager and commissioners are so very important for the future health and well-being of our community. Because like Ed said, there have been a lot of things happen in the past where you can kind of tell, I'm young enough I can say this, I don't know all the players from all the years, but you can kind of tell that maybe those decisions weren't made with the entire community as a whole in mind. And so it's very good to know who your city manager is, know who your mayor is, and ask those questions and get to know where your community is going in the future. For the future of your children, your grandchildren, it goes way beyond the 4 years that goes by in a blink of an eye. Yeah. There is a lot of great work to be done in our community, and it is up to the citizens to be educated It's up to us, you guys. We have to be educated. We
Right.
have to be asking these questions. We
Right.
have to be curious. And we have to know the real truth and the real facts. And we truly love the community, and I know Ed does too.
Oh, without doubt. I wouldn't do this if I didn't.
If you didn't, and I've
Yeah.
seen Ed my entire life do great things for this community. So thank you so much, Ed Bolt, for teaching us about the capital improvement plan. And community, I encourage you and all of us to continue to educate
It
ourselves
is.
on the
You'll
capital.
find it online.
Yes, on the capital improvement
wealth of
plan.
information.
Yes, for Shawnee, Oklahoma. So thank you so much for tuning in on Shawnee CTV with Fhionna Shaughnessy and Ed Bolt.
Thank you, Fhionna.
You're welcome.